I'm Emily Remmel. I am the Director of Regulatory Affairs. PFAS is an acronym for a chemical group also known as per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. It's quite a mouthful, so we often refer to it as PFAS. It is a known carbon-fluorine bond, which is the strongest bond known to man. It's a synthetic chemical that has been produced and put into commercial use over the last 50 years. And these are chemicals that are in everyday substances. They are stain repellent, they're water repellent, and they're heat resistant. So it makes them very valuable in commercial everyday products. They are found in carpets, they're found in Gore-Tex jackets, they're found in Teflon pans. So they are very commercial and readily available. They're also found in what is known as AFFF. It's aqueous film forming foams. So these are foams used by military operations, used by airports to suppress high intensity fuel fires. So these are chemicals that we are concerned about. They are found almost ubiquitously in the environment. They are bioaccumulative, meaning they don't break, meaning they persist all the way up from low levels in the food chain all the way up to high levels. We found them in polar bears in the Arctic, and they are also very difficult to break down, if not impossible, because of the strength in the carbon-fluorine bond. So that's a basic of what PFAS are. There are known at least 3,000 chemical varieties. There are also upwards of 6,000 chemical varieties. Well, EPA has actually been doing a lot on PFAS. So over the last 15 years or so, they have voluntarily helped manufacturers of PFAS chemicals phase out two prominent PFAS. This is PFOA and PFOS. They've been voluntarily phased out in the United States, I think over the last 15 years. So that's greatly reduced the concentrations of these two PFAS constituents in the environment. And what they've more recently done on February 14th of 2019, they released their action plan on PFAS, which lays out a whole line of regulatory initiatives to address PFAS, not only for public health reasons, but also for environmental concerns. So Congress has actually been quite active on PFAS. So over the better half of this year, last fall and the spring, they've had several hearings in both the Senate and in the House to address PFAS, and they've gotten at various questions on contamination and public health. So that has been productive. They've also introduced over 30 legislative bills throughout the 116th Congress. So coming from January to present, which it's now late July, over 30 bills have been introduced. And most recently, there have been PFAS amendments to the National Defense Authorization Act, which NACWA is closely tracking on how that will play out. So they have been very active over the better half of this year. So PFAS is a great concern for POTWs. First of all, we are environmental stewards, so we are doing the best we can to manage the millions of gallons of water that come into our treatment plants that were not necessarily designed to remove PFAS chemicals from the wastewater stream. So we are doing our best to protect public health and the environment, but we're also passive receivers. So we're not the creators of these chemicals. They are coming into our system from industrial sources as well as domestic sources. So that is a concern on how we can best remove these effectively and cost effectively from the treatment process. NACWA's actually been very proactive on the PFAS front. We developed an advocacy one-page flyer in collaboration with our friends over at Water Environment Federation, or WEF, to help inform members of Congress during our national policy fly-in earlier this year. We've also put together a Hot Topics webinar, which was a 101 debrief on basically everything you need to know about PFAS, from its chemical characteristics to the potential legislative, regulatory, and legal impacts on our POTW members. So NACWA is continuing to work with our members on this issue. It's constantly evolving, and we would like to offer a NACWA Knows on PFAS Part 2 to keep you informed of all the latest developments on PFAS as they occur. So tune back in for that, and we hope to see you then.